The Interplay of Brawl, Part 2. Now in this first match we have a Meta Knight versus a DaytoDay. DaytoDay is the big guy on the left, Meta Knight's the small guy on the right. Now the general tactic for Meta Knight right here, stay in the air and utilize your really good air attacks, while DaytoDay is going to try to keep Meta Knight on the ground. So DaytoDay has a pretty unique down throw here where it keeps the opponents on the ground, which allows them to follow up closely and emphasize his ground moves while the enemy is still on the ground. Notice how DaytoDay will continually use the down throw and then forward throw only when he's on the edge. Now, Meta Knight's strongest moves and most versatility comes from being in the air. And right here, the Mach Tornado is a really powerful, high priority move that eats up a lot of most other characters' moves. So not only can he keep it sustained for a short period of time, but he can repeat it over and over. But any move you repeat too many times is bound to be countered. DaytoDay's up tilt is an extremely powerful priority kill move, so watch out for that. Notice how DaytoDay stays on the ground, dancing around Meta Knight's aerial acrobatics. And Meta Knight's working really hard to keep DaytoDay in the air, while DaytoDay once again returns to his ground game of down throws, only going into the air to try to quickly get back to the ground to gain some kind of advantage. DaytoDay used his inhale attack, which is like a moving grab almost. It's really good for countering ground opponents. But you can't stop everything forever, so DaytoDay takes a loss right there. So coming up right here, DaytoDay is going to keep pressuring Meta Knight off the side of the stage. And here is one of my favorite natural dodges. Look at that. Just steps backwards for 2 steps, dodging Meta Knight's forward air, and then spins around for the grab. So DaytoDay is doing a really good job keeping him off the edge. And right when Meta Knight relies on the Mach Tornado again, he follows it up with a dash attack, which is a really good kill move if you can land it. So DaytoDay has Meta Knight on the run and continues to use down throws to keep his opponent on the ground. And then transferring to up tilts and back throws, and then every once in a while uses that forward throw. But right there, he called Meta Knight's Mach Tornado again and swallowed him up, killing himself. Because he was a stock up, he won the match. So, all 3 of those deaths in the previous match were because Meta Knight used Mach Tornado. So here's another match with the same player playing Fox. See how the down throws work again? And if he calls and reads Fox's jumps just right, DaytoDay can get the advantage off the edge with his back air. So now the game's back to 68-68 damage. Pretty even so far. Right here, DaytoDay charges an up smash and links it with that Waddle Doe that he just threw out, which extended the hitbox on his attack, allowing him to hit Fox even easier. So now Fox has to do a lot of work to get the damage back on DaytoDay, but the more overzealous he is, the more open he's going to be for attacks. There's the inhale attack again, which is great for keeping people off of you. And DaytoDay, see how he's trying really hard to get back to the ground? That's where his strongest and most versatile moves are. So as long as he's in the air, that's exactly where Fox wants to keep him. And again with the inhale attack, it's very good defensively. Especially when you know your opponents are just going to keep charging in. And notice how DaytoDay is calmly keeping the damage on Fox, climbing higher and higher, until he throws that Gordo, which is a kill move at high damages. Fox didn't see it coming, and now he's down 2 stock. Notice right here, DaytoDay guesses and tries to swallow up Fox off the edge to finish the match off, but he was unsuccessful. Normally when you jump off the edge and swallow someone, you do it at a high risk, high reward kind of a situation, and it's a gambit because you have to guess whether or not the opponent's going to come in high or low. If it's low, he beats you. If it's high, you win. So DaytoDay is back to the ground where he can use his really good grab and a really big shield. Notice right here, he guesses Fox's jump attack and kicks him perfectly out to the side. That allowed him to get the advantage in that match. So when you get your opponent off the edge, a lot of times you can get a really solid advantage and even take a stock off your opponent if you can guess where they're going to be and hit them out of their trajectory. Notice how DaytoDay here tries to guess just like in the last match, but he eats it because he didn't guess right. And Nessen's spike is really powerful. Just like what we saw in the first video. So now Ness has the advantage, and he doesn't have to try too hard, and DaytoDay has to work to get the stock even again. But DaytoDay missed his air attack, and now he's in the water. This is a very bad place for players to be, and Ness can keep his opponents in the water even better than Kirby can. And notice how DaytoDay took another quick death. So Ness gets back, but right here he's going to lose out on his vertical height. DaytoDay guesses Ness's fall and then back airs him for the win. That's that same kind of gambit type strategy where you do a very high risk maneuver to gain a very big reward. And remember how Ness's air attacks trade hits? This is not like Meta Knight. See how DaytoDay is free to use a lot more air attacks against Ness? Because most of the time his moves will trade instead of just losing all the time. So DaytoDay is free. And remember this strategy here? How it doesn't really work when you try to air parry through it? It's all over. In this last match we're going to look at Pitt versus Donkey Kong. And the Pitt is me. So in the last few matches, we saw how the strategies of a player can completely change when he's fighting against a player or against an opponent who has really strong air versus an opponent who doesn't have as strong as air. So Donkey Kong's air attacks are all pretty quick, but he doesn't have a lot of versatility with them because he doesn't have multiple jumps, and he's a very large character with very small feet. Shoot him with a few arrows so he recovers, use your shield to reverse him, and that's a matrix that you can put on Donkey Kong's that locks out all their recovery options. Always safe to recover underneath the stage if you can with Pitt. So notice how Donkey Kong is repeatedly using the back air to get in close because that's his quickest air attack. And he's using his horizontal mobility to make that air attack work. But if that's the only attack you have, then it's bound to become useless as the opponent just reads it every time. Shoot him with a couple of arrows, make him come close. And Donkey Kong messed up, so ignore that part. The thing about Donkey Kong's back air is it makes him very predictable, and if you keep pressing your advantage by doing air attacks before he gets his out, you'll get a lot of different opportunities to crack through his offense. Gotta be careful about Donkey Kong's up air. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention right there. So Donkey Kong repeatedly uses up air to get back from the stage, and every time you use a move repeatedly, you're bound to be countered. That was 3 times in a row right there. And that was part 2. Thanks for watching. Next up, we have team matches.